Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister, and the message reads like this. Hello, my brother. How are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I want to confess to you the things that I did. So I am working at a hair salon. So when I came here to South Africa, I didn't even know how to style women's hair. But because of poverty, I taught myself some skills that I didn't even know. So when I came here, this was after me and my husband really had a very big fight. Indeed, we really had a big fight. Then I ran away because at that time, he actually wanted to kill me. The day that I ran away from my home, this was after he had taken a knife, a butcher's knife, and he started to chase me with that butcher's knife because my husband's father, he had a small butchery there in the village. So my husband, most of the times, if there was anything that would have gotten wrong in our relationship, he would always threaten me with a knife until that night when he nearly stabbed me because I was just lying in bed. And when I said, okay, it is fine, let me go, he then said, oh, so you think that I'm just going to let you go like that? Wait, I am coming back. So he then went to the kitchen, and when he came back holding this butcher's knife, and he nearly stabbed me on my right leg. Lucky enough, I actually saw him holding the knife as he was walking into our small bedroom. Then by the time that he wanted to stab me, I had already shifted my legs, and I then fell from the bed. Then I started to run. The guy, he started chasing me. I think he chased me for about 100 meters. Then he fell down, and when he fell down, I don't know what actually happened, but later on I was told that he also stabbed himself in the stomach by mistake, but lucky enough the knife, it missed his vital organs. Then I ran away and I went back to my parents. Then I came here to South Africa. When I came here, I started working like your odd jobs. But the problem was that at the place where I was working, the people, they were not nice. You know, when you are working like for the Somalians, I was working for those Somalians, the ones that sell those blankets. So what they do is that sometimes there will be like 9 of them, and they will be staying at the back of the shop. So these guys, they said that they did not want me to stay in the location. So I thought that they were doing this out of their goodness of their heart. So I was staying in the shop. At night, I would just find a space to sleep in. So then one of the guy who was my boss, he spoke with me and he said that he was in love with me and he wanted us to be together. So since I was really desperate, I started to date that Somalian boss of mine. But the night that I slept with him, that was when I saw that these people, they do not view women as a human being. They just see women as something to use and throw away, because after we had slept together, we only slept together for only 1 round. Then the guy, he woke up, and by the time that I thought that he had came back, it was not him. I recognized that this was not the same guy that I had been sharing the same blankets with. It was his other brother. So they wanted me to sleep with them all, and I said, this I cannot do. And he said, well, if you do not want that, then I'm not going to give you your money. So I just left the shop the next morning, and he refused to give me my money because he said, you refused to sleep with my brothers. So after that, I went to this other woman whom I knew that she was from Zim. So I went and I stayed with her because she was working at this other salon, and I told her my problems, and she said, it is fine, I am going to teach you how to use your own hands to work so that you won't be desperate anymore. So she started to teach me how to plait women's hair, how to do women's hair, as well as nails and stuff stuff like that. So she taught me really well. Within a few months, I was able to do my own stuff, but we were still working at that same salon. So this woman, she had once dated this other guy who was from DRC, who was the owner of that salon. I did not know that, and she didn't tell me that the guy who was the boss, because what we were doing, we were renting a chair. Each and every day you would pay the boss an amount of money so that you can keep on operating in that salon. So what we will do is that we would go outside and just stand outside of the building. Then when we will see some ladies that want to do their hair, then we will take them upstairs. That is where the salon was. So the boss, when he saw me the first time, I saw that this man, the way that he was looking at me, he was interested in me. And later on, when that woman was not around, he then came and he spoke with me. He asked for my phone numbers and I gave him. I just wanted to be with someone who was going to take care of me. I didn't know that I would end up offending this woman who had trained me to become a hairstylist. So me and that guy, we started dating, but the things that he was doing, they were always in secret. He said, do not tell anyone about our relationship. And this guy was really romantic. He was a romantic guy. So I wanted to show the whole world that finally I have found the man of my dreams. I have found the man who is going to take care of me. Then one day, against his wishes, I then told this woman that I was staying with that the man who was our boss, he had proposed love to me and he wanted us to get engaged. And she just smiled at me, but she never gave me any response. The next morning when we went to work, there was just fire at work. I mean, it was just like I had done something wrong, because that man, when he came, he started shouting at me. Little did I know that after telling that woman and thinking that she was going to be excited, she had actually had a big fight with her ex-boyfriend. And when this happened, I kept on fighting for my own relationship. And this woman, she then went to this other red garment prophet. So I had once went to that prophet. So this prophet, he felt sorry for me, because this woman actually wanted that man to give him some prayers that would end up giving me what they call fibroids in my uterus. So one day when I was coming from work, that man, he then stopped me. I met him at this other spaza and he said, can you buy me at least a cold drink? So I bought him a cold drink. After I had bought him a cold drink, he then said, I can see that you are someone that has a kind heart. I was just testing you. I have money to buy myself a cold drink, but let us go to my place, because there is something that I want to tell you. So we then went to his place, and when we went to his place, that was when he told me that the woman that I was staying with had actually came to his house and was complaining about me being a prostitute who had stolen her ex-boyfriend, and they were still in communication and she was still in love with her ex-boyfriend, and she actually wanted that red garment prophet to give her some prayers that were going to make me to have fibroids, so that even if I'll be making love to that man, I will never enjoy it, so that the man can dump me. And when he told me this story, I started to cry, and he then said, cry, do not cry, because I have a plan for you. All that I want to do is that I want to reverse this curse that she wanted to place on you, so that the curse can follow her. And then that prophet told me to go and buy a red cloth that was 2 meters. So the next morning, I went to those Indians, you know, those ones that sell the fabrics. I went to them and I bought a 2-meter red cloth and some needles. And after I had bought some needles, I then took these items to that red garment prophet, and I gave him 1,000 rands so that he can reverse that curse, so that that woman that I was staying with can have the fibroids. So after we had created the fibroids, then that prophet told me to burn all of these items and to throw away the needles, so that even if she would go around, no prophet or a pastor or a traditional healer was going to be able to reverse these things, because the items that had been used creating these spell would have been burnt already. So I then burnt the stuff, and I took the needles and I went and I threw them. This was like late at night, into the nearby bushes, and I returned back home. When month end came, this woman, she never had like your painful periods, but when month end came, she actually had very painful periods, and she kept on complaining, saying that she felt so much pain in her womb. And the next month the same thing happened, and I encouraged her to go to the hospital. When she went to the hospital, she was told that she actually had fibroids that was as big as fingers inside her uterus, and there was an operation that was supposed to be done on her, and there was an operation indeed that was done on her. But what happens is that when she goes to have an operation, these fibroids, they grow in different places. This woman, when you see her on her periods, you will feel sorry for her because of the pain that these fibroids will cause. Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. Your